Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Well guys, this video is going to be helpful for you if you're planning to take your IELTS test and your IELTS test is tomorrow or today or in the next couple of days or in a week. You are having your IELTS exam and you want to know how to behave, how to appear in the exam and all that. Okay, so this video is going to take around 10 to 15 minutes. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. Well guys, whenever you've got your IELTS listening, reading, writing, and I'm talking about paper delivered IELTS, okay, not computer delivered one. I'll make a separate video for computer delivered IELTS, but some of these tips will help you with computer delivered IELTS as well. Well guys, whenever they give you reporting time, for example, reporting time is 11 o'clock and the test is going to start at 12 o'clock, what do some students do? They only focus the test starting time and they reach there and then they mess up with the security, and because the security they don't allow them to enter as the reporting time is 1 hour before. So you need to consider the reporting time, and the reporting time is the time when you need to reach there, not the time when they are going to start the test. This has happened with one of my students. He argued with the security staff and he misbehaved with them, and as a result they cancelled his exam. So once you reach there, there'll be the waiting area, waiting lounge, like this is my IELTS master class. I teach in this classroom, right? There'll be the waiting area, you will wait there and then they will check your IDs and all that, all right? And after that, you will be allowed to enter the room after checking your ID, and at times they take your photos as well, right? If you paid via credit card, they check the credit card and all that, okay? So once you enter, you'll be there. And then they are going to give you the headphones and they're going to make sure the headphones are fine. So when you wear the headphone, in actual exam, they're going to give you a headphone like this. Magic, I got the headphone. Okay, so in actual exam, they will give you the headphone, which is exactly the same. I imported these headphones from Dubai, right? You can see the company is Arkan, okay? You'll find the same company. Now, when you wear the headphone, actually they will give you the headphones. You need to see on top of the headphone there is this sensor, infrared sensor, and it is 360, right? There is one sensor here, here. So wherever you are, it will work properly. But sometimes, there is that plate, infrared plate, which is right in front of you. Okay, so sometimes what happens if you are out of that frequency, then there is some noise in this headphones, and that noise goes like this. See that? This noise means you are out of frequency, right? So you need to check the headphone, wear it comfortably. Over here there is the volume button. You can set it to full or as per your requirement, okay? And move your head around and see if you're going to write like this. Is it working? Is it working properly? And on exam day, mind your own business. And then they will give you answer sheet, listening answer sheet. Write your answers onto the answer sheet. After that, they will give you question booklet, and the question booklet is upside down on the table. You're not allowed to touch. One student picked it before the exam and they gave him the warning, right? So it's there, and when the exam supervisor announces and the audio plays, before that they will play test audio. My name is Sheila. No, just joking. They will play some other Cambridge IELTS audio, which is test audio. And you can just see, all right, test audio is fine. And when everyone says it's okay, audio is fine, then they proceed with the test. So when the examiner announces, you can pick up the question booklet and there you are with the headphone and you start reading the question. Before questions 1 to 5, they will give you half a minute to read the questions. Then questions 6 to 10, they will give you half a minute to read the questions. And then by the important point, by the end of each section, they will give you half a minute to check your answers. There is nothing to check, and you can check it when you are transferring your answers to the answer sheet. I advise you to turn to section 2. Now you will get half minute from previous section that was meant to check your answers, and half minute to read the questions. You will get 1 minute time, and in 1 minute time you can read the questions very, very well. Now you're going to read the questions, okay, and then they will play the audio. Questions 11 to 15 or 11 to 16 or 11 to 14. Then they will give you half minute more to read the next questions, and then by the end of section 2 they will say you now have half a minute to check your answer. Who wants to check the answers? No one. Move on to section 3. Section 3 is very important section of your IELTS, because in section 3 there are multiple choice questions, options are long, so half minute from there and half minute there, you will have 1 minute. Very comfortably you can read all the questions, underlining important points. Now remember one thing, do not write anything in your hand, whether you've written that in actual exam. Like for example, in actual exam on my hand I write ABC, and if I am caught, this ABC will be taken as I've written the answers and I wrote them when I came from outside. So do not write anything on your hand, absolutely not, right? I mean, just because of this, another test was, first the result was withheld and finally it was cancelled. So be careful, right? After section 3, again they will give you half minute to check the answers. Now most importantly, it is section 4 where the audio is fluent. So you will have half minute here and they will give you 1 minute to read all the questions 31 to 40. In the middle they will not give you any time to read the questions. Now you have 1.5 minutes to read questions 31 to 40. Read all the questions, what is written before the blank, follow my techniques. I have solved various listening tests which are available on YouTube. So you need to see how to read the questions. Read all the questions, and as you read the questions, encircle some signpost words which will help you track the audio. Words like London, words like 1903, words like John Steinbeck. Okay, so you can encircle these words so that you track the audio, because usually in part 4 students get lost. Audio is somewhere, they are somewhere and they don't know how to catch the audio. So if you encircle these words, we call it signposting. I call it signposting. If you signpost some proper nouns, you can catch the audio easily, right? Once your part 4 is over, they will say that is the end of part 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. At this point, if you want to check any answers, you can do that. The best time to check your answers is when you are transferring your answers to the answer sheet. So make sure when you are transferring your answer to the answer sheet, in your heart you should read answer of question number 1, black. Number 1, black. Answer of question number 2, London. 2, London. You know what happens? One of my students written all the answers on the answer sheet and then he realized that he had written 39, right? 40 was written on 39, 39 was written on 38, 38 was written on 37, and he just missed one answer and the whole trail went wrong. And as a result, he had to remove it and write it again. At times you may demand extra sheet, but you know you've got 10 minutes time to transfer the answers to the answer sheet and they will not give you any extra time. Okay, so when you are transferring the answers to the answer sheet, you should check the spelling of your answer. Try to use all capital letters, don't use small letters, all block letters, okay? And write all the answers very clearly, very clearly. If it is ABC, write capital A, capital B, capital C. If you are filling in reading answer sheet, true, write full word true, false, not given. Don't write TFNG, YNNG, your answers will be wrong otherwise, okay? So once listening test is over, answer sheet will remain on the table, question booklet invigilators will pick from you and then they will turn your answer sheet because they are going to make you ready for reading test. In the reading exam, if you are going to temper your listening answers or if you're going to open your listening answer sheet, that is illegal. I mean, that is wrong, right? So they may give you a warning, and if you do it again and again, this may lead to some serious penalties as well, right? So during the reading time, don't just go through the listening answer sheet. Now reading answer sheet is here. They will give you reading question booklet. It is going to be on the table like this, but you're not allowed to touch it. And when the exam supervisor says you may start your reading test, you pick up your reading question booklet and now you start doing. And first part, academic reading, first part, general training reading, first 2 parts, they are easy peasy. Try to get rid of part 1 academic, guys. You need to do it in 10 minutes. Gender training, guys, you need to do it in 20 minutes because there are 27, 26 questions. So try to do part 1 in 20, 25 minutes for gender training, and part 1, section 1 for part 1 and 2 for gender training, and part 1 for academic in 10 minutes. And the questions, mostly they give you sentence completion and true false not given, which you can do easily without any problem. Okay, so once part 1 is over, transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Don't wait till the end, that at the end I will transfer the answers to the answer sheet. One of my students, she forgot to transfer the answers to the answer sheet, and then she complained, sir, in listening they gave me 10 minutes to transfer the answers to the answer sheet, and in reading they did not give me any time. They were so rude and they snatched the question booklet from me and the answer sheet also. What should I do now? And I said, you don't need to do anything, let them do. She got 1 band in reading. Okay, be careful. Once part 2 is over, work smart, transfer the answers to the answer sheet, and part 3 answers you need to write directly onto the answer sheet. There will be several announcements. 5 minutes left, 10 minutes left, 3 minutes left. So follow the announcements. Once examiner says, candidate, stop writing, drop your pen. Don't drop it like this, okay? Just drop your pen reasonably and then sit like this, right? And if you write a single letter or a single word, once they have advised you not to write, they will come and remove it. And if you don't listen to them, they're going to cancel your test and you will never get the result. I'm telling you, they're very, very strict in this matter. Once your reading is over, they will take all the question booklets from you, all the answer sheets from you, okay? And like there is a time when they will give you some papers to sign. So those papers will come as well, right? And there can be a little disturbance during the reading test also. So that is why do not practice your reading in a very pin drop silence or pin drop environment, okay? It's not that there will be some, like, you know, invigilators are walking here and there, okay? There are some announcements. At times they give you a paper to sign and all that. So you should relax and do your reading in this way. Once reading is over, and they cleared all the answer sheets and the question booklets, they will give you writing question booklet, and you will have to write your name down on that, and they will guide you how to do that. Now, important point on your writing answer sheet, one is for task 1, one is for task 2. It's a very common mistake that some students, they start with task 2 but they write it on task 1. Okay, so remember, there are 2 writing examiners, writing task 1 and task 2. Okay, so task 1 will go to an examiner if essay is written. Task 1 examiner will say, well, there is no report, it's essay. So task 1 examiner will actually mark it as irrelevant answer. So be careful. Task 1 and task 2, you need to be careful about that. Write all the things there. Do not leave a line. Do not leave a lot of space as you write the words. Just use the normal writing, and these answer sheets are available on Google. Print them, practice on the answer sheets and see how many words are there, because in writing part 1 and 2, for part 1 the word count is 150. For part 2 the word count is 250 minimum, 150 minimum, 250 minimum. So you need to make sure that you've written more than 150 for part 1 and more than 250 for part 2. So just check, you can just check the number of words per line and total lines, and you can do it beforehand. When you get the answer sheet, practice answer sheet, so there you can check, if I write until this point, I've written these many words and all that, right? Now, let's go on. After this, once they give you the writing question booklet, then they will give you the, answer sheet, they will give you question paper. And question paper will be there on the table, there will be announcement, you can pick up the question paper. First of all, read task 2. See what is the topic of the essay. Identify whether it is opinion, discussion, problem solution, advantages, disadvantages, right? And then make a plan immediately that this is the topic, this is the type of the essay, these many paragraphs I'm going to write, this is going to be my argument in the first paragraph, second paragraph, third body paragraph and all that. This is how I'll start my introduction and all that. But it is advisable to start with writing task 1. One of my students, he was so indulged in writing task 2 that it took him 50 minutes to finish task 2, and then he had only 10 minutes for task 1 and he got panicked, and things were difficult for him. So start with task 1, do it in 10 to 15 minutes, make sure you write 150 words minimum, do proper paragraphing, don't leave a lot of space. Don't think that if you add extra answer sheets, they will give you extra answer sheets for writing if you need, but you will have to sign, right? So if you get extra answer sheets, don't think that by adding extra answer sheets you will get more band score. More explanation means more band. I mean 250 words for task 2 and 150 for task 1, that is standard. You may write 300 words for task 2 and 180 to 200 words for task 1, that's more than enough. Don't write more than that. If your essay or task 1 is wordy, you will get low band for that as well. Now you can start with writing task 1, read the topic, identify if you are academic IELTS candidate, identify the graphic, right? You may use your pencil because you will be doing your IELTS test using pencil. You may use your pencil to encircle, underline, and don't write a lot on the question paper. This may lead to some problem as well, as if you write anything on your hand, this may lead to problems. Don't write anything on the question paper. Just make mental notes, or you can make some notes on your answer sheet which you can remove later on, right? So task 1 you should complete introduction, then you need to write a summary of the report. We call it introduction, summary, and then there is the body of the report. Okay, so overview, we call it overview. Introduction, 1 paragraph for introduction, very short paragraph, 1 paragraph for overview, and 2 paragraphs for body of the report. And if the data is large, just pick up or pinpoint something and you can write on that. Okay, then there is essay writing. Remember, essay writing is 2/3, report writing is 1/3. So you need to write a very good essay. Read the topic, reread the topic, identify the type. Even if you don't identify the type, for example, if it is not opinion, discussion, problem, solution, advantages, disadvantages, it's another type, don't worry, cover the topic. Just write 2 to 3 body paragraphs to cover every aspect of that topic. Make sure you write 250 words, make sure you write proper paragraphs, okay? And for writing, I advise you to have at least 5 minutes for proofreading. Proofreading is very important. By proofreading, you can have your careless mistakes corrected. Correct your careless mistakes and that will improve your half band. When you are proofreading, don't try to insert a sentence. Don't try to change a sentence. Don't try to remove and write again. Just check the spelling. If you haven't crossed the T's or dot the I's or full stop and all that, just check up to that level. And then when they say candidate stop writing, again drop your pen and sit like this, right? They should not see that you are writing something. Don't even remove anything. When they say stop writing, don't even try to remove anything. You should sit like this so that your hands are not doing anything at all. And then they will come, they will collect the question booklet, they will collect the answer sheet from you, and then one by one, like they will take 1 row out, 2nd row out, 3rd row out, and that is going to be the end of your IELTS test. And then they will be speaking before or after. That is a different story. I will cover speaking in a separate video. Well guys, these 3 to 4 hours, the whole procedure takes, if you start from traveling time or the time when you leave home and when you come back home, it's going to take around 5 to 6 hours. It depends on the distance of your test center, test venue, but it takes 5 to 6 hours. And the time when you are in the test, like when it starts with listening, reading, writing, it takes around 3 hours, but these 3 hours are the exam of your nerves. You need to work very, very efficiently. You need to control your emotions, you need to control your feelings, and then you'll be able to get your desired band. All the best guys, thank you so much. Hit the like button if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel if you are new to my channel, okay? I'm fasting and talking, that's why. Anyways, I also teach IELTS online all over the world and in campus, and we offer PTE online and in campus classes. We offer IELTS writing correction service. We offer IELTS test booking service in Pakistan. If you want to get any of these services, my contact number is given. You can contact me for that. Asad Yaqub wholeheartedly wishes you best of luck with your IELTS exam. Do let me know when you get your desired band, and I'll be the one who is going to congratulate you. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye. Allah Hafiz.